You like the juice, eh?
Yeah, you know.
The juice is good, eh?
Yeah.
Dímelo, Bo Dominican York. What's going on, my gente? What the is going on? So last night I wore Sugar Addict to bed as my scent of the night after showering late. Thought I'd keep on wearing the scent of the day, but I ended up kind of, 8, 9 o'clock kind of switching and going with Sugar Addict, which, I always want to reach for. Believe it or not, before I had Sugar Addict, I had Artisan Ethnique. And you get a lot of what you'll get in Sugar Addict right here for about 20 bucks. 20 bucks. 20 bucks, and it's 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? 90%. 90% of what you get. This has some extra notes like oak moss and something else. I forgot. So there's something in the mid that it's got extra. But it can be worn as a layering tool because that's how Born to Stand Out kind of markets the Sugar Addict. It's the only one in their line that I've seen so far that says fragrance sweetener. So that was super interesting when I actually got the bottle. I didn't notice that before. Instead of it saying eau de parfum at the bottom, which this is in their eau de parfum concentrations on their website, it actually says fragrance sweetener. Super interesting. Super interesting. This guy's got an aggressive atomizer. Look at the amount of juice that came out. Absolutely stunning. The Lattafa's atomizer, not as great. Still off curtain, but not as much juice. Definitely not as much juice as the Born to Stand Out. Now, if we go, we're on the Born to Stand Out website. I've got the 50 mil. The 50 mil goes for about 220 bucks. And now you can get Sugar Addict on Sephora's website. Did not know this until last night that Born to Stand Out is now available on Sephora's website. So a ton of things that I look forward to hopefully sampling. If you didn't know, my wife's a Sephora insider, so a lot of times she gets a bunch of gratis and we get to, sample fragrances, and she gets to sample a ton of makeup and body care products because they want their people to understand, I guess, what the experience is like. But Sugar Addict, we're looking at head notes of sugar and cinnamon essence, heart notes of cocoa absolute, coffee extract, and base notes of tonka beans, vanilla absolute, rum extract, labdanum absolute, and cashmere wood. And when we go to the Lattafa website, you see from $220 for a 50 mil, you can now get Artisan Ethnique, normally $55.99. They got a sale running, I guess, $49.99 for a 100 mil. And you're looking at rum. Instead of being at the base notes, they have it at the top: rum, cinnamon, and sugar. And then in the mid notes, caramel, cacao, coffee, and oak moss. So there's the difference. They've added caramel and oak moss in the mid, and that's not even in Born to Stand Out's release. Then at the base, you've got vanilla, cashmere wood, tonka bean, and labdanum, where they had rum down here for Born to Stand Out. Guys, I've got a backup bottle. Literally, I've got a backup bottle. Let me grab these two again. I do have a backup bottle of Artisan Ethnique, and I had both bottles before I ended up grabbing Sugar Addict for the wife. Yeah, but I think I might have worn this more than her now that I've had my second wearing. But I tend to lean on Artisan Ethnique, right? I save the juice, and that's why it's good to sample the DNA with something that's relatively inexpensive. before going with the OG. And I do that with a ton of fragrances, that before I get the OG DNA, I get something that's going to get me 90%, sometimes a little less, 70, 80, 90% of the experience. I don't, again, believe that it's a one-to-one, but it is so close. 9 out of 10. I've got the dry downs of each. Born to Stand Out's on the left, and Artisan Ethnique's on the right, and almost identical. Born to Stand Out's is a little more vibrant off strip. And I'm really getting into that mid and bass notes that are so gorgeous. The rum is starting to pop off, where the rum is starting to dissipate on the Latafa. Yeah, it's such a nice blend on each. You really get like an essence of the coffee. You get an essence of the cacao. You get an essence of the vanilla mixing with the labdanum, one of my favorite notes in perfumery over the last few months. So good, guys. Do you need Sugar Addict? No, because Artisan Ethnique will give you the experience wholeheartedly. And both have about the same amount of longevity on my skin and clothing. Well, I don't know for sure about Sugar Addict on clothing, even though today, when I got up and went to go do a quick food run, Born to Stand Out, this guy had a little bit on the sleeve of my sweater because I spray now the inside of my shirt to get some on my forearms and inside of the fabric. Sometimes it'll also get on the edge of the fabric, and I kept getting wafts of Sugar Addict. Yeah, I feel like Sugar Addict, and this is about 30 minutes into the strips dry down, is still coming off a lot more lively now. Where Artisan Ethnique has kind of settled and gotten a little softer, a little less loud, but still super present. Guys, both are I think have tremendous sillage and are not going to be overbearing or overpowering to the nostrils, at least not to me, but you gotta enjoy sickly sweet. If you do not enjoy sickly sweet, stay away from either. Again, I've got backup bottle of Artisan Ethnique. The first one I found for 22 or 24 bucks. Second one I found on eBay for $18 with a damaged box. Yeah, I don't need a box. Born to Stand Out, I'm pretty sure I got on Olfactory Factory, and it was in that, I basically got like 95 bucks off retail. So I almost paid like about 55%. I got about 45% off. But again, now it's going to be available. I don't know if it's going to be at your local Sephora in store. It's not at the Crabtree Mall here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I would have to order it online. But well worth it. Well worth the wait. Oh, that's so good, guys. Again, it's a must-have DNA for me personally. And that's why I got a backup bottle of Artisan Ethnique. And I've got so many frags that I've been going into other things, but I could wear this day in and day out with the sweet tooth I have. Absolutely stunning. May not be best in the summer or the high heat, but you can wear it in the spring. Just go easy on the trigger. And again, they consider Born to Stand Out's Sugar Addict a fragrance sweetener. And I find that totally interesting. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with your Uncle Bo. Que Dios me lo bendiga. Talk to you guys soon.